Welcome to Financially Focused. I'm your host, Denise Williams. We are all about empowering you to take control of your financial destiny by building a strong financial table that covers 4 main areas: income, savings, protection, and mindset. You know, income, of course, there's a variety of ways for you to earn cash flow. Savings is the foundation for your short and long-term dreams and goals. Mindset is how you build your emotional and wellness capabilities to continue to grow wealth. And protection covers ways to eliminate debt and eliminate risk. And one of the tools to eliminate risk is insurance. Now, for more information on these 4 areas, visit financiallyfocusedmedia.com to access your free financial independence course. Now, that said, let's get down to business. And we really want to drill down into protection and using insurance as a form of protection. We have an awesome guest coming up, and we're going to really look at 3 different ways to analyze how you decide how much protection in the form of insurance that your family needs. So we've got a special treat coming up. I'm really excited. We'll be right back. All right, hi, Denise here. Again, we are looking into building the protection for your family. We're going to deep dive into how you personally profit and how your family profits from having protection. And we've got a special treat for you. Joining us is none other than the incredible insurance advisor, Tenine Black. How are you?
I am fine, thanks.
All right. Now, and thank you for being part of the show.
My pleasure.
All right. Now, insurance is such a thing. You know, I have clients who are building their financial table and they're strengthening the legs of their financial table. Insurance is a part of that.
Yeah.
And so they're working with their financial advisor to get insurance. Now, here's the big question. How much insurance do you need? Because on this hand, we have people who don't even believe that there's insurance. And I have, many stories as a financial, coach of people who have run into a lot of challenges in life because they listened to family members who did not believe in insurance. Yeah. And so there wasn't disability, there wasn't critical illness, there wasn't life insurance, there wasn't, investments, there wasn't pension, there weren't any of these tools in place that said, okay, I'm going to take care of my family and myself in the future, and many times it comes unsuspectingly. I, have a friend whose child had a stroke at 27 and there's no insurance. And now that child has been living at home for the last 20 years. They're 47. My friend is 70. Insurance would have made a difference.
It would. I have a friend who got disabled at maybe 32 years old, and for the past 5 years, he's still alive, he still has needs an income, he needs nursing care and so on because he's disabled. But I unfortunately didn't have sufficient insurance. It ran out within the first year.
Okay. All right. So, but we need to ask the big question, which is how much do you need?
How much you need really comes down to why do you need it?
And it's almost like a maze.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. So what we're going to do quickly, I'm going to just make sure everybody knows where we're going. And we're going to look at several different ways, to figure out how you can choose how much insurance. So we have the dime strategy, yeah? We also have the human life value strategy. We have the multiply your income by 10 strategy, yeah? And each strategy lets you look at your life in a different way. And I think that's very, revealing. And I just want to encourage everyone to visit www.financiallyfocusedmedia.com. We have a free course on financial independence, and this will also help you to understand how all of this ties in. So let's start. Human life value. This is based on your future earnings and what you think will be needed to take care of your family. And the rough way of doing it, back of the envelope way, is to say you're going to, between the ages of 18 and 40, it will be 30 times your salary.
Yes.
Because those are the ages where people are really, if you have a family, they're very dependent on you.
Yes.
And then 41 to 50, it's going to be 15 times your income. Then 50 to 60 years of age, it will be 10 times your income. And then after the age of 65, it's based on sort of your net worth.
Yes.
Now, when you take that approach, very, very mathematical and clinical, how do you find clients, make decisions in that way?
Well, it's very good when a client is willing to sit with you for you to go through that rather mathematical process.
Yes.
And then, of course, you'd have to break it down so that it doesn't seem as mechanical. So it's about looking at the life stages.
Yes.
So, of course, for somebody that is single, it's another equation that fits. But there's still human life to that as well, in terms of you need an income.
Right.
So you find that someone who is single, someone who lives in the city, who might be away from immediate family, they are really on their own.
Yes.
They don't have a support system that someone will willingly chip in and say, oh, I'll pay your rent, or oh, I'll buy your grocery, or they are really on their own. So they really have to look at that equation in the sense of protecting their disability, protecting serious illnesses, and really maintaining their independence, because they're alone, they need to have independence. And a quick way of ensuring that is their cash.
Right.
But when you have a family now, you really look at the stages. So it starts from
Like
spousing
18.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But a lot of people partner by the time they're 18.
Right.
Yeah.
And for a solid relationship, especially if it's going somewhere,
Yes, yes.
then you find that you start sharing things. So for example, you'll be sharing your rent.
Yes.
And you find a nice place and you're living there. If I die or if I become incapacitated, how do you afford that place when I was paying a half of the rent?
Correct.
Or I may have been paying all of the rent.
Correct.
It also comes down to a car that would have been sharing, or if we had separate cars, it comes down to grocery, it comes down to entertainment, it comes down to generally your lifestyle. How do I maintain a lifestyle when half of the income that supports it is no longer there?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Of course you can when there's insurance. Insurance can cover half to a multiple
Yes.
of that.
Question though, we are looking at saying I am, at this particular age, and I'm looking at, so I am, say, 41 to 50, and I'm looking at 15 times my income. But what if now you and I, you're my insurance advisor, and I'm looking at that and I feel bad that my income is not really good? How do you cope with that, with clients having that kind of, because now you put the spotlight using the human life value method. We have 2 more methods that we're going to go through, but using the human life method, how do you deal with the emotions that may come up that I don't earn enough?
Well, first of all, I would say calm down.
Okay.
We can do this.
Okay.
All right. So you're looking to get 15 times the salary.
Yes.
You are slightly at a late start, so what it means that you'll have to put a little bit more
Yes.
than you'd have been putting if you start a little earlier.
Okay.
So the first thing that we do is look at your disposable income.
Yes.
How much is it that you're earning now? And after you minus all of your expenses, how much is left?
Right.
The great thing about looking at your disposable income is not only does it tell you how much you have to spend, it also tells you how much more you need to earn.
Ah.
Because
Yes.
when you see that you only have this small amount to use up when you'd really want more,
Yes.
then you're really going to try to earn more.
Yeah.
So we'd basically now set out a formula. So I'd say, Denise, what are your skills apart from what you're doing now?
Right.
Is it that you could venture into additional things that generate income, or is it that you have some extra cash that you can put on a 5-year bond? Or is there a business venture? Is there an IPO? Is there some venture, including special skills that you may have, that you can invest in a little bit so that it gives you more money, that gives you more disposable income, that gives you more to save? Also, all it might need in some instances is just a little bit more discipline.
Ah. So here we go. So we're going to say human life value. That's our first strategy to determine how much life insurance you need.
Yes.
It may be a wake-up call to say it's time to be more disciplined or get more income. All right. Next one is multiply your income by 10. So instead of having the scale that we just went through based on your age, this one's just a flat figure. So if you earn $1, multiply it by 10, you need $10 worth of insurance. Plus, if you have children, you add the cost of university.
Yes.
How do you feel about that one?
I like that one because it's a much simpler calculation to work with.
Yes.
Part of it is also, what I like about it too, is that it allows you to immediately see how much insurance you might really need.
Okay.
So part of that principle is based on a need to claim an insurance or a need to call on your insurance for some payout.
Yes.
And when you get that payout, it is invested normally in a bank, for example, and based on the returns that you're able to get from it.
Yes.
In an instance, it would give that multiplication effect. So what you're saying is that you get a lump sum.
Okay.
You haven't used any.
Right.
You go and you go to the bank and you say, Mr. Banker, this is my lump sum, guard it with your life, but I want this amount, and he will tell you upfront, or she will tell you upfront that, oh, I'm going to give you 5%, or I'm going to give you 10%, or I can give you 15%, which is a little ambitious,
Yes.
but 5 to 10% depending on the investment tool. So once you put that lump sum there and it stays there, over time, it gives you that multiplied effect.
Okay, great, great. All right, so the last one is the DIME formula, and this one looks at future plus current. So the D is for debt, I is for income, M is for mortgage payments, E is for education. So that's the DIME: debt, income, mortgage, education. How do you feel about using those numbers to see how much insurance you need?
That is another smart way to do it.
Okay.
A good principle that we use in investment, in saving, in acquiring wealth, in preserving wealth, is to put, and which we say it in Jamaica all the time as well, put your eggs in more than one basket.
Or don't. Or do. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put your eggs in more than one basket.
Right. Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So what you do is, it's about simplifying your plans
Yes.
and keeping true to your plans.
Right.
So if you have only one jar that you put all your money in,
Yes.
and you're saying, oh, this money is for my Italian vacation 10 years from now when I plan to go to Italy.
Yes.
And you put all your money in that jar. There will come an emergency and you need immediate money,
Yes.
and you go to that jar.
Yes.
and you disrupt your Italian vacation money. And what that does, it sets you back. And especially if you don't have the discipline to put all of that money back, it sets you back. However, if you have two other jars, so you have the Italian vacation jar, then you have emergency money jar, and then you have spend money on Amazon jar. When you have that emergency, you will never look to the Italian vacation. You look to the emergency jar,
Right.
meaning that you'll use that money and it will leave the other jars uninterrupted.
Right.
That way your plan stays intact.
Awesome. So we have 3 strategies, right? We looked at the human sides of things,
Yes.
We looked at the 10 times your income side, and then we looked at the dime side, which is looking at your debt, mortgage, income, education. These are all just different ways to help you to sit down with your licensed insurance advisor. This will help you to look at your life. So if income is not happening the way you'd like it to happen, you have an opportunity.
Yes.
If in the dime strategy there's too much debt, we can handle that. So I really thank you so much for this interview. We are really happy to have you.
I'm happy to be
Thank you
here.
so much.
Thank you too.
All right. So thanks for tuning in. We had an incredible lineup of options for your insurance planning. So we did 3 things. We did the human life value, the multiply your income by 10 strategy, and the dime formula. What I love about this way of protecting your family using insurance as a tool is that it analyzes the different aspects. So the dime formula, for example, includes debt. This may be a wake-up call for you to sort out some of the debt because you don't want to leave that for your family and have your insurance be completely absorbed by paying off debt. But what about education? That's something we also talked about, in that insurance can be used as a backup coverage for education if that's important for you. Yeah? Your mortgage is something we looked at. That's something that can be put in the calculation of insurance. And of course, your income, right? Looking at your income and deciding if your income is enough or your investments are enough as a part of your insurance planning. So you have a lot of tools, and I trust that they're helpful, and you can now speak to your insurance advisor with confidence and clarity. I want to say thank you to Mr. Black, our host, for sharing with us his wisdom. And I am just really grateful for this opportunity to share with you. Now, we want to make sure you tune in and catch the replay and review this with your family. Make sure you're taking notes and getting the most out of the way to protect your family. I'm Denise Williams, your host. I'm honored to be a part of this journey towards financial empowerment. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Visit our website, financiallyfocusedmedia.com. Access your free financial independence course. I'll see you next time.